Hear me out before you guys hunt me down. First of all, hello, I am Helium. I hope you can make yourself comfortable over here. I'm making this video to express some things I noticed while watching the ever famous K drama converted from the webtoon True Beauty. Full disclosure, my intention for making this video is only expressing my opinions as a consumer of K dramas for about 4 years now. This is in no way a hatred video. I have tried my best to learn about the culture of South Korea as an Indian myself, and it is based on the first 10 episodes of the K drama in question. Parallels between the webtoon and the K drama will be drawn as well, and I personally feel like my opinions have a validity as a consumer. I am fully aware that the last few episodes of the K drama are airing pretty soon, and I haven't watched them because I was pretty busy in the past few days. But like I said, the first 10 episodes is what I'm drawing these facts out of. Beauty is an illusion, and true beauty is a scam. The latter part of the sentence is taken from the True Beauty K drama script, where the brother of the protagonist, Jugyeon, says this very phrase. Not the beauty is an illusion part, but true beauty is a scam part, which is why it's the title. Frankly speaking, I have many problems with the K drama, but knowing that it is a full fledged production made by teams of experts, I don't think it's responsible of me to not talk about the positives either. So I have divided the video into sections. It is up to you and your discretion to watch whichever part you want depending upon your state of mind. It is alright to disagree with me. All I ask for is civil language while you do so and some patience. Let's start from the starting, okay? I came across True Beauty when I started reading Webtoon, which is when it was released on Webtoon around then. My friends and I had certain expectations because those expectations were of sorts projected to the viewers. The first chapter of the Webtoon True Beauty had this amazingly confident protagonist who was talking about how she is a goddess and how everyone thinks of her as a goddess. And then we see how she struggled in the past and how she is growing as a person through different pursuits. But halfway through, I don't know, it started taking a different direction. It started focusing much more on romance, and we did not see as much of personal growth as we wanted to see from Jugyeon. So my friends and I kind of dropped it, which any reader would do if you are not wanting to waste your time on it. And I won't lie, Jugyeon was being very mainstream in it. And usually I don't mind mainstream, but the problem is when the initial idea of a webtoon or a K-drama starts to become a lie. Which is why when the announcement of the K-drama True Beauty was made, I was both excited and a bit hesitant because I knew that the directors of the K-drama could take either direction along with the writer. They could make Jugyoung more self-dependent, more smart, but basically I was scared that like she would be put into the ever famous tussle of boys and romance in a way that the title's relevance and her growth's relevance eventually starts becoming irrelevant. So the first one being my initial impressions and this one random fact. When I first watched the K-drama, I felt like the K-drama actually nailed the aesthetic to a huge extent. But it almost seemed like they added like a whole huge box of sugar to make it more glossy, shinier, tastier. That's a metaphor. I hope you kind of understood what I was trying to say, as in to make it more appealing. I also couldn't help but notice that the style of the K drama reminded me extremely of the K drama Extraordinary You. And I thought of this in the first two episodes, and soon enough, there was an actual cameo of the Extraordinary You cast in the episodes of True Beauty, and I was like, okay, very interesting. And I ended up googling it, and would you look at that? It actually had the same production team and director as the K drama of Extraordinary You, which makes sense because I thought that the type of cinematography and the lighting and the way scenes were written and captured or very extraordinary you, which is both good and bad considering that I love the starting of Extraordinary You. Its content quality was extremely high, but eventually I started to notice how it was a bit stretched, forced, and prolonged, and I couldn't help but not skip parts. So I had to skip parts, and yeah, not a good idea if it went that direction, which kind of takes me to the negatives. Um, so, coming to the analogy that probably brought you to the video, the true beauty being a scam part. My intention is to bring to attention that the original title had not done justice to the original plotline in the webtoon, and it seemed during the first half of the 10 episodes I watched as well, that is in the K drama, with regular cliches and rather uncomplex characters of Jagyoung. In the K drama, it seemed like the story and the true motive of the original idea will again be lost. And as a viewer who enjoys a good balance of cliches and realism, often it is my worst nightmare to have such an amazing idea with such potential to be lost, with the pressure of making it entertaining at the cost of its true beauty, as in its message. I mean, just think of it, isn't it contradictory? Like, we have unrealistic school settings. Like, that is the very first negative I couldn't help but notice. But it's very striking how the school building is so elite. Like, please, if you're watching this, please tell me, how many of you Asians actually study in such a beautiful looking building for high schools, with every wall being clad with like floral wallpaper which is bright green, and ivies and flowers adorning the brick walls of the building, spacious as tables, beautiful turquoise doors, and magenta cabinets. Like, unless you're in the top schools which are private, I don't think that's possible. And given Jagyoung's actual financial situation, how is she in the same school as Suho, the son of a billionaire? She is not good at studies. How did she get a scholarship if that were like the case? Going off topic real quick, lack of complexity in characters. Now, webtoon readers will notice this. Definitely, you see how Jugging is dumped down to a typical K drama character. Sojun is acting like a freaking rebel who is again acting like a middle schooler falling in love with someone he barely knows and acting out on that. Suho acting like a very typical icy cold trope. All of this is in many ways very disappointing to see, considering that that is not how high schoolers act. And clearly, a lot more depth and context could be added to the scenes to make it more realistic, because that is not how a love triangle ends up happening. On another note, these characters are being played by 20-year-olds when they're acting like middle schoolers, and one of the main cast is 30-year-old, and I I think that's kind of problematic, not because of the age of the actor, but rather because that is constantly being romanticized. The behavior and the looks are not proportionate in any manner, and I don't think that's okay considering your target audience. Plus, I am 19 and I know that's not how high schoolers act, and that kind of hurts, dumbing it down. Then we have the fact that Cha Yun Woo was the same character as uh, Gangnam Beauty. I think I got the K drama name wrong. Now, technically speaking, I do love Cha Yun Woo. Okay, he has an amazing personality and he works very hard. He knows how to play the piano. He knows how to like dance and sing and do all those amazing things. He is an actual aesthetic king. But no doubt about that. But apart from that, I watched that one K drama I just talked about, and I feel like he's the same character. And I know the character of Suho in the webtoon. He is not like that. I don't know if it's the writer, if it's the production team, if it's Cha Yun Woo himself, but the character Suho is not like he's supposed to be. He's just way too cold, way too inexpressive in a lot of ways, and kind of pisses me off. Next, we have false expectations for school and love. I have watched a few videos and documentaries about school life in South Korea. And to be very honest, I can give the K drama the benefit of the doubt. But still, I can hardly believe that the school setting and the love setting is even the tiniest realistic. Like, let's be honest. Firstly, in high school, every kid ever is so burdened by the education system. When I was in high school, which is basically 1 year back, I was losing my shit. Okay, this is portrayed in the webtoon, but it's not portrayed so much in the K drama. In fact, it is sidelined. The relevance of it is reduced. The reason why people like True Beauty as a webtoon was because of its realism in some senses as well. It highlighted some issues in a very subtle but very correct manners. Like, you actually saw Jagyung struggling, you saw her, how it affected her, and it affected her in a way that wasn't portrayed like a middle schooler. Then we have the fact that the uniform is actually fashionable. Like, I think I'm just jealous about this fact because technically speaking, most Asian high schools make us look like peasants. I won't lie, our uniforms suck big time. And I do think it's a K drama after all, so that's fine. But for me personally, it hurts. The love expectations by this K drama are again pretty unrealistic. There's a high chance that the topper of a school is not good at everything, or as handsome, or as romantic, or as daring as Lee Soo-ho is shown in this K drama. Neither is the fact that the social hierarchy is like like this. It isn't like as comically present in high schools as the show here. Also, where was the homeroom teacher when Sua's boyfriend was decorating a whole ass classroom to, give her an anniversary gift? Like, let's be honest, high school teachers are on protocol all the time. They follow the protocol, they are strict. And I don't think this happens in real life at all. How did it happen? No idea. Is this realistic? Nope. Will it make some teenagers sad about them not having a high school like this? Hell yes. Then you have the fact that you're romanticizing cliche scenes that are not okay at all. I am pointing towards two scenes specifically. One scene where Jagyung is stuck between the two guys holding both her hands and she's just staring at them. Like, first of all, they're just staring at each other, Suho and Sojun. They're staring at each other because they like Jagyung. And Jagyung is just standing there without doing anything. She is not offended by the fact that they invaded her personal space. She is not affected by the fact that they both are sort of viewing her as their property. And she becomes embarrassed. Like, what? The second scene where I'm very, very, very annoyed at for being romanticized is clearly that one scene which is present in so many goddamn K dramas, where the protagonist is being pushed against the wall while the male protagonist tries and threatens her about something or disagrees with her or is outright trying to seduce her. Now, if it's consensual, yeah, it can be seen as attractive. But first of all, these two characters are high schoolers. Suho and Jagyung being in that situation, knowing that it is not appropriate given the context they were in, and it wasn't present in the webtoon previously, makes me really question why it is there in the first place. You don't need to normalize inappropriate things in the name of fan service. I am sorry, it's disgusting. Then you have overuse of cliches. I am sorry, but I've heard I am a man too. And the cold guy acting colder to protect the girl trope way too many times. What about the whole school's attention being only on the 4 to 5 main characters? Do they not have social lives? It is based on a clear set formula for generations, and I've seen multiple K dramas being set on this formula. So many K dramas that I've come across, and only to realize that it might seem fine for the occasional watcher, but for a regular watcher, it's disappointing to see a good idea with potential being lost in translation. Unlike Extraordinary You, I would say that True Beauty has lost most of its credibility because I do see like some fun elements being played on or new things being introduced as the scenes progress and episodes progress, which is something I'll be highlighting next. But I feel like these points are important and they need to be acknowledged by the industry. personally really appreciate the fact that they seem to have concise and consistent characters through the first 10 episodes I watched, unlike some K dramas where the characters are unbearably inconsistent. The casting of the character in resemblance to the webtoon is spot on, especially they are a bit tweaked, but for now that's fine. Um, Definitely would say that the sister of Jugyoung and her being the most forward and girl crush lady gives me life. The fact that like she asked the guy out and isn't afraid to be bold and hence doesn't shy away from scary situations is so beautiful. The sibling fights in the K-drama are so accurate. The brother seems like a proper brother, and while he does act like a brat, he does add to the story in a very harmonious way, and I love it. Food porn is pretty real in both the K-drama as well as the webtoon. It is right there. Also, the makeup montages. 별빛이 내린다. Then I really like the addition of the Okie Dokie dance. I think that's a good addition of a fan service, not like the other example of where Suho tried to pin Juggling against the wall. Like, goddamn it. The Okie Dokie dance was hence an unproblematic fan service addition. I think it had the perfect amount of comical elements to it, as well as Hwang In Yup's amazing abs. Who wouldn't like that? Now we've got like the webtoon and K-drama differences and incongruencies as well as congruencies. For this, I literally watched the episodes and webtoon again till episode 10 of the K-drama and the episode 35 of the webtoon. So in the K-drama, technically they went to a movie and then they went to an arcade after the movie. Where Suho is like just very much more sarcastic and vocal. So he is like sort of cold, but like more of a sarcastic and vocal cold. So he legit said, "So what? Sue me." Like that kind of a thing you won't see in the K drama. Like I didn't at least. In the webtoon, Sujin is not the kick-ass BFF. She is in the K drama. I do sort of understand the reason for this change, though it makes a better, friendly dynamic, and to an extent, it makes it much more positive. Sujin in the webtoon was a very jealous and fake person, and I think she still added to the realistic understanding of what people might be like in the real world. But for a concise webtoon storyline being transferred to a K-drama, I understand that the change in Sujin's character favors the story more, and even though it does make the story a bit cliche, it's good. It's a good addition. Then another change is the attitude of Jagyung in the webtoon and the K-drama. In the webtoon, Jagyung knows that she is considered a goddess and is confident about it, even though she gets triggered every time someone from the past comes up or if someone treats her better than she thinks she deserves, which is again realistic. In the webtoon, however, they made her much more but like they've made her much more of a typical K-drama character in the K-drama. She is shy, but she acts like a middle schooler. She is not confident in subtle ways, like she was in the webtoon. And frankly, I feel like her character was changed according to the actress's capability, maybe, or the fact that it is a webtoon. I don't know which one it is, and I kind of really wish that like they made her a bit more confident. But yes, they cut out a tarot scene from the webtoon. Like someone went to the tarot reading session, and there the tarot reader said that, "Hey, your child is gonna have a love triangle." And personally, I really like that scene. In the webtoon, the intro of Sojun as a character was in the McDonald's. Basically, our protagonist just runs into Sojun in McD. Whereas in the K-drama, we obviously have that amazing bike scene, which had many people flat. Also, they dropped the Aiden character from the webtoon, and Aiden was supposed to be a K-pop idol in like the webtoon, and in the K-drama we don't have that. Instead, I feel like they added the baseball player who sort of proposed to Jugyoung. But personally, I really liked Aiden as a character. Like Jugyoung was his makeup artist for a bit, and they both had become these amazing friends, and he was like very bubbly and very vocal, that kind of character. Also, the sister of Surgeon, Govon, the sister of Sojourn, basically her and Jagyeon basically meet in a convenience store in the webtoon, whereas in the K drama they meet where they met. But yeah, those are all the differences. Personally, these are the things that I noticed. My friend, when he heard of the plotline and he watched a few episodes, he straight up ended up saying that this is very Karan Johar material. And I'm an Indian and I have watched Bollywood. I don't know if you watched movies in Bollywood, but if you watched Bollywood movies, you would probably know that it's half an insult. That's the end of it, and I hope you guys can drop a like and have a discussion in the comment section about what you really feel about True Beauty. I was very annoyed, and that's the sole reason I made this video. Truly speaking, I'm new to YouTube, so a bit of support could be nice. The rest is up to you. Bye.